Wow. Sorry about that, kids. Delayed Happy New Year to all you creatures of Sports Frenzy Land. Yes, I'm back. The Conquistador Dave Height, along with my brother from another mother, my best bud, the maestro Kevin Crane. Oh, it's been a long 2 weeks since being on with you folks, and I missed the hell out of it. Yes.
So what do you got to do? What do you got to do, kids? Your head's pounding, not because of your Uncle Dave, but because of what you did last night.
You miscreants.
Fry up the eggs.
Get the coffee going.
Get the bacon and the sausage.
Pound the aspirin.
And be prepared for an hour and a half of fun, ridiculous, politically incorrect pop culture commentary.
Your hangover cure. It's Sports Frenzy, baby.
Now, it's going to be a little bit different this week. Now, your Uncle Dave is back, which makes it the same. But we are going to load up in certain areas and, believe it or not, ignore other areas we would normally have reviews and cherish and fawn all over with love, like movie reviews. No movie review this week.
No, because I've watched the regular holiday routine.
Right.
Violent Night, Christmas Vacation, and Die Hard.
And plus, we got books. We've got tons of stuff to talk about with relation to music. Not necessarily music itself,
but music related.
And what do we always start off with, Dave?
Music! It's all about the rock and roll, baby. Now, that being said, no music. Do we want to start with the two songs before we delve into the other?
Sure. Why not?
Let's knock it out and get it out of the way. All right, leading off, David Lee Roth once again graces us with his dulcet tones with his latest single, Forgiveness.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine.
It was okay.
That was fine.
I like the lyrics.
It's pretty much bare bones, stripped down, acoustic blues.
Yeah. I wasn't wild about Dave's vocals on this one.
I find the timing funny, is what I read into the timing, that he releases this just a few months after Brothers comes out.
Yeah. As he's begging forgiveness.
And
looking for forgiveness.
How much of this stuff did he really do that he discusses in Forgiveness?
Intriguing.
So I think I liked it more because of the timing and the end of the year. It seemed like an appropriate song for the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, but can we do 2.5?
I can't go 2.5. I'm going 2.
I gotta go a week 2.5.
Well, there you go.
I know it's a new year. Last year, at the end of the year, we embargoed 2.5. But I'm bringing it back, baby. I'm bringing it back.
He's embracing it for what it is.
We're taking it back.
Oh. And then the second song we have from the Black Moods, Circles.
Now, the first time I listened to this, I thought it was one of their songs. And I thought, well, this is pretty good. It's not bad. And then I found out it was Post Malone. It's a Post Malone song.
That they're
like,
covering.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like, wow, really? Post Malone is this deep?
Yeah. Mr. Face Tattoo?
Yeah. I'm not normally a fan.
Yeah, no, me neither.
But
me neither.
For the songwriting on this, did he write it or did he originally just record it?
That I don't know.
That's the question that we need to delve into.
But I think the Black Moods did a good job of making it their own.
Yes. Kind of a mellow, it's catchy. I didn't mind this one.
but now you're probably not going to like this. I'll go 2. I will actually give David Lee Roth the benefit of the doubt here.
I was going to go a week 2.5.
See? There you go. We can't quit 2.5. We just can't quit 2.5.
Things fall. 2.5 is like that. You go ahead and listen to it.
I think I've come to peace.
There's just some mediocrity
to peace with 2.5, because you don't. I'm looking at this like a public service, and I want people to listen to or watch the stuff that we like. But even if we only find something partially attractive or partially creative, whether it's a song, an album, a show, a movie.
If there's something mildly positive and there's
but
some
at the same time, I'm not going to
it.
mislead people and tell them it's great. Oh my God, it's great.
Yeah, no, it's worth listening to. There you go. It's not phenomenal, but it's worth a listen.
So there you go. 2 wishy-washy, mediocre reviews for the Black Dudes.
What a great way to start the new year.
And David Lee Roth. But now it's time. Now it's time for the maestro to get a little bit fired up. Oh boy, do I have problems with this. Something I've been looking forward to for months. And then you and I both, at the end of the year, decided let's get Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Different reasons, but now we've got other shows we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching Tulsa King and Landman and all that good stuff.
There's stuff out there for us.
But
the rockumentary,
based on the book that you read, that I read half of.
Nothing But a Good Time. The history of the hair metal of the 80s.
3 episodes. Paramount Plus. About 50 minutes each.
Yeah, they wussed out on this one.
God, I'm so glad you said that.
This was pathetic.
Now, I won't go that far.
Compared to what was covered in the book and everybody that they were able to talk to for the book, I don't know why they didn't get everybody. There was some of the stories that were covered from the book. Some things were not. I like some of the interviews. Others, I'm like, why are we going down this road?
Yes.
There's no reason. Really, do we have to hear from the lead singer from Tough?
I have 4 main problems with this particular miniseries. That's number 1. Now, I tried to get over Tough. The only thing I could come up with to justify it
was because the timing, as
they
hair
were
metal was
supposedly
going out, they were the next new hair metal band coming up at the same time Nirvana was there.
Literally
passing,
the same week.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could figure why they would justify giving Tough so much time. Their lead singer, so much. Did you notice, by the way, not a single mention of Cinderella?
Yeah, 0. That pissed me off.
I thought when they started the 3rd episode, when they were talking about the East Coast.
Yeah,
and
Cinderella.
Skid Row, I thought...
Where was Twisted Sister?
No Twisted Sister. Yeah.
You get a shit ton of Skid Row.
At the beginning of the 3rd episode.
At the beginning. You got the bit of Great White. But Twisted Sister and Cinderella were arguably bigger than those two.
And again, those were East Coast bands.
Yeah.
And they seem to want to focus, except for Skid Row, only on the West Coast.
Very skewed. The book covered the East Coast much better.
Okay. Problem number 2. Like I said, I have got a lot of issues here. but I still think I'll end up giving a better review than you. The animation.
My God.
Telling some of these stories.
With the stupid animation was ridiculous.
I didn't like that at all. Did not like it at all.
That was bad.
Obviously, we don't have footage of some of these things that happen. But to see stupid grade school animation to play out some of these iconic moments.
Yeah, it was just bad form.
Yeah, I thought it was a little trashy.
Yeah.
All right.
So far we're on the same.
I don't think you're I think you'll agree with me. Problem number 3. Now, 3 and 4 tie together. So let's kind of make this all one big thing. And we're going to tie it into the opening credits for the 3 episodes. Did you notice they play the opening credits? They show the title in neon, and then they shut out the lights to make it say, not a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you fucking doing? What kind of agenda do you have here? And that's where my last 2 criticisms come in. Number 3. This shithead manager for Guns N' Roses, Alan Niven.
That long-haired doofus.
Yeah, with the weird frog eyes.
Yeah.
Drinking his, orange juice cocktail.
Yeah, whatever.
He was a manager for Guns N' Roses and Great White. And he seems like he had the worst time of his life doing this.
Miserable.
And he's the one that reinforces, this was not a good time in life. This was not fun. Then why did you even do it?
I didn't want to be a manager.
Yeah. Why did you even do it?
Fucking do it?
Oh my God, I had to clean the puke off of Slash. Then quit. Go work at Costco.
Yeah, just don't be. I could not stand him.
No, because he was, number one, I guarantee he got a lot of leftover pussy from Guns N' Roses and Great White. That he's going to bitch and piss and moan and complain because he
made a shit ton of money off of them, too.
But
so
he's
don't give me this bullshit.
And piss and moan and complain about it all. And this is why I'm saying I noticed cues in this that told me that whoever put the documentary together
had an agenda against.
They were trying to say this was not a great era of music.
It was the best era of music.
And then 4. Criticism number 4. And this is where I'm going to sound awful. And I don't care. Because I love this music. And I am so passionate about this era of music as you are. And I am defensive about it. I don't like people taking pot shots at it. They bring in this Dr. Lyra Dawes.
Oh, she is a bitch from hell.
But Dave, I did research. I did research on her. She happens to come in denigrating Warrant. Cherry pie, oh my God, what misogynistic stuff this is. She is. So she's got a worthless degree from, I think it's Case Western. In she's an ethnomusicologist.
What the fuck does that even mean?
That means that all she wants to do is talk about black music in relation to heavy metal. She hates all the white bands. Everything she does, everything she works on is about black women in heavy metal, black musicians in heavy metal. She's a racist. That's why the little appearance she made on there was to rip Warrant for Cherry Pie. Because it's an agenda. Again, it's a fucking agenda.
Yep.
And this woman, this is where I got mad. I was like, Dave and I would rip you to shreds in music knowledge. But you got your little degree from Case Western.
Ooh.
You and your ethnomusicology degree. Any day you want to go up against us when it comes to the 80s rock and roll, we'll take you on. And we will make you look awful. You're a pretender. And for you to be featured on this documentary, denigrating the bands that we love is an affront to rock and roll.
Everybody in that era loved. That still love that era because people continue of all ages and genders and races go to see these bands still. Trust us, we've been to many a show with these bands over the last 15 years. You see a myriad of people.
And at the end of the documentary, they stress that. They say this music came back stronger than ever, showing the ticket sales for Guns N' Roses and the stadium tour with Motley Crue and Poison and Def Leppard.
And even if you go to the fairs and the smaller venues, people are turning out for the music because it is party rock.
Here's an idea. Let's not make it an academic issue. Let's not tell people what they should listen to and what they shouldn't. Because how about you break down the misogynistic lyrics in rap music? Oh, how about you do that?
It's 100 times worse than anything you got out of the 80s.
The violence and the misogyny in rap music. But you want to pick on our music. Go to hell. Burn in hell, as Twisted Sister would sing. Burn in hell. I was so mad about this. So mad. You get the academic on there. Oh, I've got a degree. I don't give a fuck if you've got 10 degrees. You don't talk down to me about this music. This is my passion. This is my number one love in life. Is this music. And you don't get to tell me you know more about it because you studied it in school and it doesn't have enough black music influences. Fuck you. Fuck you to hell. And I cannot believe they had this underlying subversive bullshit going on.
I know,
between her and Niven talking about how much he had an awful time managing Guns N' Roses and the sign. I can read the cues.
It was absolutely
I would like
awful.
to talk to the authors and find out.
I don't think that's not what came across in the book.
And they have very little screen time here.
Yeah,
they maybe pop up once or twice an episode.
If that.
Yeah.
If that. I only recall each of them like maybe twice. It was...
But there is nothing you can do to piss me off more
than to denigrate and talk down to me.
Especially when it comes to this topic. Especially when it comes to this topic. Now, that being said, for anybody who wants to relive the era, they do a decent job of it otherwise.
Yeah, the struggles that they had trying to make it big.
And at the end, when they do, the one thing I will admit, the negative, they give you a brief rundown of all the big-time warriors, Janie Lane, Robin Crosby, that we lost to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But they chose that lifestyle. Niven chose that lifestyle. Yeah. Don't make me feel bad for you.
You could choose what you did during that time.
Tracy Guns came out and said I had to quit Guns N' Roses because I was going to die if I stayed with them.
He made the choice for his own good.
And guess what? He's had a successful career with LA Guns, and he's still out there now. They've got a new album coming out. They put out new albums every couple of years, like clockwork.
Yep. You had...
Obviously, the music means more to him than the drugs and the debauchery.
Was it? They had Bret Michaels. We know diabetes. He's out. He said, I did not get into the drugs because it would have killed me with my disease. I had to take care of myself. Yes, I partied in different ways. Yes, it was the debauchery, but I did not go down the drugs road. I couldn't. A choice he made.
Yeah, the third episode was the one that was really
the beginning of the end.
Well, no, it was up and down for me. There were so many important moments that they covered very well, and then you had the negatives. Over. Of course, Poison, the meltdown at the MTV Awards with Cece. You had the Beavis and Butthead stuff, which might sound trivial. Ask Reb Beach in that interview. He looked mad.
Yeah, that destroyed Winger.
Yeah.
It killed their career within a week. As soon as that episode aired, by the next weekend, nobody was going to their shows.
Yeah. Too much on Trickster.
Yeah, what the hell was that about?
Again, no Cinderella, no Twisted Sister, but we get Trickster. We get 5 or 10 minutes looking at the career of Trickster.
And no mention of Nelson. You would think with the history of their dad.
I think they showed him real quick.
Yeah, just a real quick in the intro type thing. But
I think they were part of the whole, what they were saying was the copycats.
Yeah.
Because Bullet Boys, they showed Bullet Boys.
Yeah.
You know, Bang Tango. Very different from at least the first half of the book from what I read. Yeah. You again read the whole thing.
I read the whole book, and they glossed over so much. There was a lot left between the pages.
Yeah.
And it went a different direction in the tone than what the book was.
That's my big criticism. The tone is different. Instead of being an homage to music that the authors clearly loved, this kind of tried to be, we're gonna show both sides, the positives and the negatives,
and we're gonna just poo-poo the whole thing. No.
I will still give it 3.
It's a 3.
I will give it 3 frenzies.
I had higher expectations for it.
Yes, I did too.
But,
and like you said, some interviews, very cool. Some were missing, some were lacking.
I did like Corey Taylor.
Yeah, he's always been a diehard fan of 80s music.
Yeah.
Oh, he does cover songs all the time.
He does. And having somebody like, I really liked his insight because this molded this made him want to be a rocker.
Right. Yeah, so it was nice to have him balancing things out for the younger generation.
Yeah.
But, a lot left on the table. I agree completely. And again, a lot of bands that deserve to be noticed. I don't know if maybe there were copyright issues.
Maybe nobody wanted to do it. I don't know. But you had the interviews from so many people in that book that completely left out of the documentary.
Yep.
And if you participated in the book, you would think you would want to participate in the documentary.
I don't know. I don't know what an entertainment lawyer would tell us in terms of what kind of clearances you have to get, which are different from a book. You know, you got a little bit of Def Leppard with Phil Collin. Would have liked to have heard from Joe Elliott.
That would have been nice.
You know, we did get a decent amount of Rat with Stephen Pearcy and Warren DeMartini. But really, outside of that.
Yeah, all you got really from Guns N' Roses was from Adler.
Yeah.
And he is fucked up.
Now, there is some archival stuff.
Yeah.
We get archival interviews with Axl Rose, Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
Explaining basically why Skid Row imploded. It's still worth watching.
It is.
But it is not what it should have been. It is not even close to what it should have been.
No, it was It was good, but disappointing at the same time.
So we'll recommend it, but again, I'm
Watch
not apologizing for my viewpoints.
No.
There is bullshit in this that tries to denigrate the music. Oh, it's misogynistic. I don't care if it's misogynistic. Part of the problem with our society is we're repressed. You can't let women be sexual. You can't let men lust after good-looking women.
Because women sure as hell lust after good-looking men. How many of the groupies are out there? Come on.
Let's just
get over it. They
obviously
didn't have an issue with it.
Let's get over it, okay? People want to get laid. People want to see big boobs. All right, just like the women wanted to see the good-looking guys on stage in the spandex and leather.
And have them backstage.
Let's stop acting like it's something that's wrong. Okay? The drug stuff, yes, that's wrong. The excessive drinking could be very, very wrong. But these are consenting adults. Okay?
Most of the time.
Let's get over the whole, let's bring an academic to discuss how awful this music was. I was so mad. Just that little 10-second snippet with her just pissed me off beyond all belief. Oh, cherry pie, so misogynistic.
Yeah, whatever. Move on.
All right. TV and streaming. Dave and I have got a lot of balls near TV balls. TV balls.
Lots of stuff going on.
Next week we will have our review of the full first season of Creature Commandos.
Yes.
As we are through episode 6.
I like Weasel.
As you're listening to this, it's done. So, next week will be our full review of 7-episode season. And I like how they're doing the whole, every episode a different character. We get their background.
I like it. It's very cool.
And we got in episode 6, Dr. Phosphorus. And we happen to get a glimpse of a certain big-time superhero. Might be one Caped Crusader. Just a glimpse.
Just a tiny little glimpse.
Just a brief glimpse. So we will see what the final episode holds next week. Now, I have watched 3 episodes of Squid Game, the 2nd season.
I don't know that I want to watch it. I'm still on the fence.
I will end up finishing it. I'm too far in right now. But I will say, I absolutely loved the first episode and a half. It draws you back in. It sets things up very well. And then it's a letdown, at least to this point for me. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling, I've heard, no spoilers, but I've heard that it does take a twist.
Yeah,
so when I get to that point, I will let everybody know if that makes it a little bit more worth your time.
Spending the time.
Still got Secret Level I want to finish up. You and I eventually have got to finish up season 2 of Tulsa King.
Yep. Got to get through that. I have been playing catch up with True Detective. So, got through season 1 with McConaughey and Harrelson. Absolutely freaking fantastic. The story was incredible. The mystery behind it, the pacing, acting, all brilliant, top notch. Couldn't have enjoyed it more. Then we started season 2, and I know the knock on it, not as strong as the first season. And it's not quite. We struggled through the first episode because they're throwing so many characters at you and different storylines all at once, and you're trying to think, where the hell are they going with this? What is it even going to wind up making sense? And you get to near the end of the second episode where it starts to come together a little bit more. And so we still, I think, have 2 episodes to go to finish that one up.
And that seems to be the consensus. I've watched all of them, but it's been a while.
No, I will say Colin Farrell and Vince Vaughn are fantastic.
Yeah, and the thing is, I go in with a bias with them because I think they're both tremendous. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because everything that I heard from the public when that came out years ago about season 2, same thing. Number one, it had too much to live up to, trying to even come close to season 1. And then it started off so different and so busy and so convoluted.
Yeah, they were trying. It's almost like they were trying too hard to outdo the first one. And that's where they failed. They should have simplified it. Keep it simple, stupid.
All 4 seasons, though, are worth watching. They're different. They got a different feel.
And that's, I like that about it.
Yeah. It's almost like an anthology.
Yeah. So.
Now, do you have a full review rating for season 1?
Season 1 is a 4 for me. I absolutely loved every bit of it.
Yep. And again, that seems to be the consensus. First season, classic. Second, a letdown. But I think that's unfair.
Yeah.
Third is better. And then the fourth, which we've already watched, we liked, but it's a mixed bag.
Some didn't like it at all, and I thought it was really good.
Yep.
I enjoyed it enough that that's why I decided to go back and watch the rest of the seasons.
Yep. And so we both watched the first episode of Going Dutch.
Yes, the new Dennis Leary comedy.
This is all about Dennis Leary, by the way. That's the only reason we're watching this.
Yeah.
Is because we love Dennis Leary. But this is a network comedy. Keep that in mind.
Network comedy being the operative words. You do not have Dennis Leary on a network comedy. It limits him. There's one scene in particular in the first episode during a parade where he goes off on a rant where they unplug the mic, and I would have loved it if it would have been on FX for the full Leary effect.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. I'll give it another episode or 2 to see where it's going to go.
Give it a couple to see.
But I
chuckled a little bit, but it's it could be really painful.
Well, you don't have to watch it.
Right.
So,
and if I don't like it after the second episode, then I probably will bail.
Yeah, and I think
it's got that feel that it's not going to survive.
It's got the feel that, again, like you said, this should not be a network show.
No.
This needs to be a cable show or a Netflix show. So you can let loose with the profanity.
You got to let Dennis be Dennis.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see where Going Dutch goes. I am into the second episode. Again, going back to Paramount Plus of Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. And I believe the season wraps this week.
Okay.
So then we can catch up on all of the shows.
Yeah. I'm halfway through Tulsa King.
So I got to catch up on that.
That is going, wow. Still so good.
Something I heard shocking when it comes to Landman. And Landman, unbelievable through the first episode and a half. Billy Bob Thornton is the man. He is just the man. But something I heard that blew me away. I guess this is the second to last episode. Like I said, it's wrapping up this week.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, Cowboys owner,
makes a cameo.
Has like a 5-minute scene in the second to last episode.
Okay.
And he's unbelievable, they've said.
Really?
I haven't heard one person say anything other than he is unbelievable. He gives this like bedside speech to one of the characters that's in the hospital, and he's talking about his regrets in life and how the one thing he loves more than anything else is that he can work with his kids running the Cowboys. Because, of course, Landman is set in Texas.
Right.
Wow. Everybody's saying he's a better actor than he is an owner.
Wouldn't take much.
But they literally, everybody, universally.
The praises are there.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard little bits and pieces of it. So interesting. Something
very intriguing
to look forward to.
Yeah.
So we got all those shows going for you kids. All of those. And then debuting this week. As you listen to this, it's out already on Netflix. Miniseries. American Primeval.
Oh, yeah, baby.
With Taylor Kitsch.
The boys and I have already plans to watch that one.
Old school Western. So,
love me a good Western.
So we will start digging into that next week as well. Then we also had the debut of Raw, WWE Raw on Netflix.
Boo!
Boo! That is such bullshit.
Booing Hulk Hogan?
The liberal fucktards on the West Coast booing Hulk Hogan because he supported Trump.
I know, that's fucking
petty.
stupid.
That's petty bullshit.
That's absolutely pathetic. You call yourselves fans. Really? Ugh.
Maybe Triple H should have figured that was coming, but that's pathetic.
That's bad form.
Yep. I watched the first half. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the first half. They said, oh, it's going to be like a pay-per-view. No. Yeah, except there weren't a lot of matches.
Oof.
A lot of it was
jabbering.
Well, like Hulk Hogan. Bring out a legend, let him talk for 10 minutes, and then have a match. And then bring out another legend for 10 minutes, and let him talk, and then have a match. So we had to listen to The Rock go on and on. John Cena, who I hate, wrestling-wise. I like him more as an actor than I do as a wrestler. I hate him as a wrestler. You got to listen to him for 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay. All right. I got to see Roman Reigns get back his Uafala. He is now, again, the tribal chief. I got to see my girl, Rhea Ripley.
So this is Roman Reigns' match for the year? The rest...
They did make a point of saying this is his first singles match since WrestleMania. Which was what? 8 months ago? 9 months ago?
Uh-huh. Again, he is useless. He doesn't wrestle. Why is he even there?
Cody Rhodes wrestles a lot more than he does. And I like Roman Reigns more. But Cody Rhodes wrestles a lot more than Roman Reigns does. And then I got Rhea Ripley, my beautiful, gorgeous Rhea Ripley, getting her title back against Liv Morgan. And you would not think Rhea Ripley would be my type. Tattooed, nose ring.
But there's
all that comes off. They show her coming in to the matches. And she doesn't have any of that on. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm telling you, Australian.
Oh, she's got the accent.
She got the Aussie accent, yep. I'm Rhea Body Ripley. Yeah, baby. Yeah, you are. So we'll see how this... They did not have any technical glitches.
Yeah, we didn't have any technical glitches for the Christmas Day football.
So they must have figured things out after the Tyson-Paul fight.
That whole fiasco.
All right, a little bit of news. And then we'll move on to a massive amount of book reviews.
Yeah, we got a few for you. Actually, the next few weeks are going to be pretty good with the book reviews.
And don't sit there and go, oh my God, book reviews. We are going to be reviewing in a few minutes.
You illiterate swine.
Brothers. Alex Van Halen's memoir. So again, I told you, a lot of music involved here. This is a public service. I'm only doing this because I know a lot of you out there like this show. Dave and I don't. We gave up on it. But The Last of Us, Season 2, been confirmed it will be coming in April.
Yeah, The Last of Us, better known as Discount Walking Dead.
PC. Ugh. Too PC for me. News for you, my friend, my brother from another mother, you and your entire family. If you haven't heard this, I hope I am bringing you good news. It is now official that there is a Grimm reboot movie.
We know.
In development for Peacock, and it could lead to a new series.
Nick and I, last night, actually had a discussion about this on what it could possibly be. So, is it going to be the original cast coming in with the kids? The kids are growing up now. Are they going to have to deal with the ramifications of the Royals? Are they experimenting with new breeds?
I don't know anything about any of this.
Okay, never mind. I won't say.
No, but you can tell the kids. They're probably interested.
The whole point of Grimm, the main character, police officer, his family are Grimms, the Grimm fairy tales. They have the ability to see people if they are something not human. Whatever animal type race that they are, or witch, whatever. So, and when the Grimm sees them, their eyes like turn black, and the creature that they see recognizes them as a Grimm by the reaction. Usually it's a fight to the bloody end, trying to wipe each other out. Story progressed very well done. Brilliantly written. You've got some of the creatures in the Grimm becoming close friends, working together to stop the Royals, who are trying to take over the world. So much going on in it, but very well done. Original, gritty, very cool. So,
and it was a big hit on Friday nights.
Yep, on NBC.
It was 6 years, I think? 6 seasons?
6 or 7 seasons.
Yep.
But just really good. I was hesitant, but got sucked in right away. Because I think it was ABC did Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I remember
that. At the same time, which that was more...
Which was all the fairy tale characters.
Yeah.
But I know
it wasn't
Grimm
as
too, but...
It wasn't as dark and gritty, and didn't have that storyline to suck you in that Grimm did. So we've got our hopes of what it could be. We're thinking, we'll see. We just don't know, but we're anticipating it.
See, very happy.
Go back
very
and watch.
Happy.
Go back and watch Grimm.
Very happy that you guys found out about this.
Yes.
A little disappointed I couldn't bring you the news. But... All right, trailers. This has become kind of a weekly thing. Let you guys know out there in podcast land what trailers are out there that could be cool. Flight Risk. interesting movie coming out soon with Mark Wahlberg.
Could be intriguing.
Topher Grace being his usual Eric Foreman wussbag self, it looks like.
God, this is the first thing he's done in how long?
A while, yeah. They've already got the trailers out, I guess, for Squid Game 3. I guess they're going to do a quick turnaround on this.
Oh, so we're not going to have a year's
No, it's not going
wait?
to be the 5 years like Stranger Things, the 5 years between seasons. A show that you and I both need to watch. And I think it's on Netflix now. Trailer is out, coming March the 9th on AMC. Dark Winds, Season 3.
Oh, we got to get to Dark Winds.
Tony Hillerman's
Yes.
Lee Porn and Chi.
Love the actors in this.
Yes.
So.
Yep. And then, today, drum roll, the full expanded new trailer for Reacher Season 3. The full length. So now we get a little bit more info about what Reacher's going to be doing. Of course, if you've read Persuader,
you
kinda
should know.
Which is what Season 3 is based on. But we get to see more the cast. We get to see more of the characters. Anthony Michael Hall is the bad guy.
Yeah, he's going to be good in that.
Yep, a little bit of Neely. But, and then, of course, we get to see the FBI agent that Reacher's going to end up fucking. So, there you go. And
No spoiler.
I know her from somewhere, but I can't remember. I only watched it once.
Now I'll have to
So I'm gonna
watch
have
the
to-
trailer and see.
I know her from somewhere. Definitely. Come on, Reacher, next month, Season 3.
Cannot wait.
One of the few shows where I will binge it. I will
You
blow
have
through
to-
that in 2 nights.
It's on Prime. They drop it.
Oh, that's right.
They'll drop a couple, and then it'll be one a week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The only problem with Prime.
It's fine. I can live with that. I can live with
So
that.
I think we get the first 2,
Yeah, first 2 or 3. Yeah.
and then yes, we're anticipating a binge.
All right. Before we move on to our book reviews, the Golden Globes. Yes.
I heard Nikki Glazer showed her Golden Globes.
Yeah, I saw pictures. Yeah. Yep, I have a newfound respect for her. She's not that funny, but
It's not hard to look at.
no. Gonna bounce off some of the winners. Bounce them off your Uncle Dave here, just to see his reaction. Mostly bad, but a couple good. Because, of course, the Golden Globes, movies and TV. The winner for Best Motion Picture Drama, A24's The Brutalist. 3.5 hours.
That's brutal.
Adrian Brody won Best Actor for The Brutalist.
I'm not an Adrian Brody fan. He's just not that good.
He could be, if he wins the Oscar for this, he could be a 2-time Best Actor winner.
Ugh,
Think about that.
God,
Think about the actors who...
That's not
Peter
fair.
O'Toole never won a Best Actor Oscar.
and Adrian Brody could potentially get 2.
Yeah.
That is not fair.
Oh, but it gets better. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. Emilia Perez, which is about a transgender actress playing a Mexican drug cartel kingpin.
Of
I
course. Of course that's going to win.
All right, we'll skip a lot of this other bullshit, but we will get to TV. Oh, by the way, I should note, congratulations to Demi Moore. She did win for Best performance by a female actress in a musical or comedy for The Substance, which I do want to see.
Yeah, that I'm intrigued by.
TV. Sorry about The Day the Jackal did not win for Best Drama.
Oh, it was good.
Shogun won.
I'm not surprised because that was the period piece.
Shogun won a lot of awards.
Well, yeah, it's the period piece. It's got the sets. It's got the costume design.
It won Best Drama Series, Best Male Actor, Best Female Actress. Best Limited Series. Now, let me just tell you who was in the running and who won. I'll really piss you off with this. True Detective Night Country. The Penguin. Ripley, which is Thomas Ripley.
Yeah.
Guess who won?
Ripley.
No. None of those. Those are good. Those are the good ones.
What are the other ones that were up?
Just let me tell you.
All right, what won?
Baby Reindeer.
Oh, that stupid fucking thing?
Yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
But here are the good ones. We'll get off of this here. The good ones are Best Performance by a Female Actress in a Limited Series. Jodie Foster, True Detective Night Country.
Night Country was so good.
And then Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Limited Series, Colin Farrell, the Penguin.
Well deserved.
So those two, I'm with. Thumbs up. Thumbs up
those two deserve to win.
Absolutely.
Penguin did not deserve to win the award for Limited Series.
No, I've said it's not as good as what people are saying it is.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not bad. I'm not saying that, but it acts like it's the be all end all. No, it's not.
It's not. It's okay. It's
Titans
worth
was
watching.
better. Doom Patrol was better.
Doom Patrol and Titans were so much better than Penguin.
Yeah. But we'll go through this again with the Oscars.
Yep. We'll piss ourselves off to no end.
Yep.
And now it is time to educate all of you folks on Literary Frenzy. Here on Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby!
Otherwise known, of course, as iHeartRadio.
It's book review time.
Literary Frenzy. What we used to do back in the old cable access days.
Paperback writer.
Where we try to get you guys to pick up a book once in a while. Visit your local library.
Because remember, reading is fundamental.
Write a book! I've always said everybody has one good book in them. Whether it's an autobiography, fictional, whatever. Everybody has a book in them. Me, I can't get it out. I need some literary Metamucil or something. I just can't get it out. I get close. I get crowns, but it just won't come out.
I've got the idea for one, but just can't pull it all together.
Now we have got to play catch-up, so to speak, because Dave has not been here in a couple of weeks. We do have a mutual review.
We do.
Which ties in again to music. And then we each have a book review on our own. So we'll start off with a much anticipated review. Been out for a couple months, but we finally both got around to reading it. Alex Van Halen's memoir, Brothers.
Wow. The rush of emotions, the gambit of everything that this book brings out is incredible.
And I give him credit for, initially I was upset. I was hoping for a 400, 500 page comprehensive review of his life. All the Van Halen, Cher's putting out 2 books because her life is so important that she's got to put out 2 memoirs.
No, it's not.
Alex, 225 pages.
He's always been the man of few words, always direct and to the point. And that's what he is in this. He tells the tale, starting from when they're born, over in Holland, coming across the ocean to America, landing in Pasadena, and growing up, and the development and how close the two of them had always been.
And then, of course, in terms of Van Halen, the band, this is only up to 1985. This is only going to cover the classic lineup through the first 6 albums.
It ends when Dave leaves.
Sammy Hagar might not like it, but Alex has made it abundantly clear through this book and through his press conferences, during his press tour, interviews. He feels like the original Van Halen was it. That was the purest form of Van Halen. That's really the only one he will acknowledge.
Yep, because they achieved the sound that he and Ed had worked for since they were kids.
Yep. And while there's that obvious affection, and with a little bit of brotherly strife mixed in, but the Van Halen brothers obviously had the connection creatively and emotionally. But I'm fascinated by how much time in the book Alex devotes to David Lee Roth.
Yes, that was kind of surprising. But then, not really, because it was the dynamic of Dave being at odds with what Ed was trying to do. That's what he said, that's what made Van Halen Van Halen.
I think Ed was about the music. Dave was about the show, and Alex was somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It feels like he was torn between those 2 worlds.
Yeah.
Because as he mentions, of course, he was the guy that was lighting a gong on fire and banging it. Where Ed was always trying to
chase the elusive note.
The perfect sound. Yep. And Dave was all about Dave. Dave was
self-promoting Dave. Anything he could do to put himself out front. And it was, as Alex described, the conflict, the dynamics, the push-pull made them better together.
And we get a decent little rundown, not a ton of time, but each album gets its few pages.
Yep.
And Alex will discuss how he feels about each of the 6 albums from Van Halen 1 to 1984, which I am shocked that he is. I'm not saying he's wrong. It's obviously he was a part of this. But as a fan from the outside looking in, he thinks 1984 was the best.
Yeah.
That was the closest they ever got to the perfect sound that they wanted.
Jump was the sound that they were striving for.
Yep.
And it's a phenomenal album.
Yep. I like the first 4 better. But 1984 obviously was a very important album.
Yeah.
In my life, I agree with him where he says, how did this riff, this keyboard riff, not attract more attention. Because everybody was saying, you play guitar, Ed. You play guitar, Ed. You don't play on the keyboards.
Yeah, well, he
including
started
David
out.
Lee Roth.
Yeah. Ed started out on piano.
Right.
And he rebelled against playing the piano to play guitar. But ultimately, it was the piano, the keyboard, that was the sound that he was striving to hit.
And the great story about the piano that they tried to bring overseas.
Yes.
It's just a wonderful story. And I think the thing is, the thing that makes this work so well, we're biased, we're huge Van Halen fans, but it's simply told. It feels like you're sitting across from him in a smoky bar, and he's just telling you the story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about my family.
Let me tell you about
You
my
had a couple
brother.
hours. Let me tell you about my family, my brother, the band. And that's how it comes off. Very casual, not in a bad way.
No, it's just keeping to the facts. Yes, there's some funny little anecdotes along the way,
Yep.
but he does it. He acknowledges that there were issues.
Yep. It's not about dirt, though.
No.
We're not slinging
dirt. It's not
dirt
a tell-all dirt. It's just acknowledging Ed was flawed. He was sensitive. He took everything to heart. And how he did not deal with it in the right way.
Yep. So, to me, it's a very strong 3.5.
Yes.
The only criticism I have is I wanted more.
Yeah, it leaves you wanting. It ends the way it ends. You wanted how they continued to have their relationship. And I know he didn't want to go down certain roads, and that's fine. But that's...
And I would like to hear more about his take on the Sammy Hagar years.
Yeah.
And Gary Cherone. I would like to know what he thought.
Yeah.
They brought Gary Cherone in.
In the acknowledgments, Cherone gets a thank you. Chris Cornell.
Yeah. Yep.
Sammy is not mentioned.
Or Mikey.
Which Mikey kind of surprises me.
It doesn't surprise me if he has true disdain for Sammy.
That's true.
He might look at Mikey as a traitor.
Turncoat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, again, the only criticism, I wanted more.
Yeah. Too short, but what we got was great.
Yep.
It was intense. You could tell how close they were and how Ed's death affected Alex.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't go over the top emotionally. The last few pages are basically his goodbye.
Yeah.
And you get a little misty-eyed.
Yeah.
But
you tear up, you feel it, but
break
it's
down
not,
bawling and crying.
No, but you feel for him.
Yep.
Very good.
All right. So Dave and I now have individual book reviews. Dave's got a more recent book. I will be going back in time.
Go to the Wayback Machine. So let's rest your voice for a few minutes.
What? What's wrong with my voice?
The fact that it's going out again.
For the 5th consecutive episode.
So, I got through David Baldacci's latest To Die For, a 620-man thriller, one of his new characters. This is the 3rd book in the series about Travis Devine, former Army Ranger who in the first book, 620 Man, was a trader on Wall Street, trying to go the legitimate route to try and make money as his mom and dad wanted him to after his rebellious streak of being in the Army and being wounded. But now he's back working for a secret government agency and still dealing with the girl on the train who tried to kill him in the second book. So we find out a little bit more about somebody put a hit out on him for some reason. And the girl on the train, we learn more of, it's a former CIA operative who was sold out by one of her co-spies within the agency and left for dead with an enemy in their prison camp and tortured and managed to escape and is now out for revenge and trying to fulfill the contract. But of course, as always, paths cross, mutual enemies make friends of others. So this one finds Travis working a case where a former soldier he served with now has a questionable company that he runs, an empire that's not in legal dealings necessarily, but this guy's sister, brother-in-law were found dead of a supposed drug overdose, leaving his niece an orphan. And so now the government, trying to make a case against the uncle, has the niece. He's trying to get custody. Divine gets pulled in because of knowing the guy. He has to protect the girl. There's a lot of weird crap going on. You have the new form of the KKK, the survivalist group, trying to take over the world, or at least America, forcing their agenda. A lot going on, but it's melded together very well. So I will give this a solid 3. Baldacci weaves a good tale.
Now, what number book is this?
This is the 3rd in this series.
Okay.
So Divine's a solid character.
Yeah, what was the one series with Baldacci that I started to get into? The old school detective. He hasn't done any books in that one in a while.
Oh, yeah. No, it's been a couple years since we've had one of those.
Yeah. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
But yeah. I know.
The old school, like Marlowe type detective. Yeah. Yep.
We should be getting one of the... He goes in streaks. So I would imagine we'd be getting one of those or one of the other detective, the former football player.
But at least he's not farming it out, is he?
No, he's not farming anything out.
Like Patterson?
Yeah, no.
The literary whore?
Baldacci does not farm his stuff out.
Yeah. So, my book. I'm going back 8 years in the Wayback Machine. Because one of the series that I am behind on, that I'm trying to catch up on while I try to stay current with everything else, is the old Robert B. Parker, Jesse Stone series. So I found some time here now to finish up The Hangman's Sonnet, which was written by Reed Farrell Coleman. Now, the sad thing is, I know they're going to switch to another author here soon, and then it goes to Mike Lupica. So I'm 2 authors behind.
Oh!
The Hangman's Sonnet is really good. The only problem I really have with how Reed Farrell Coleman has handled Jesse Stone is that he's made it a little bit too... The mystery parts are still good. Now, the Hangman's Sonnet is all about an old musician with supposedly there's a lost tape from a recording session from the early 70s involving anybody and everybody. The Stones, McCartney, Joni Mitchell were all involved. They all supposedly dropped by the studio and helped, and this album never saw the light of day. There's a master tape somewhere, and this has created this myth over decades and decades. And so the mystery that Jesse Stone ends up getting pulled into is that somehow, some way, somebody claims they found the master tape. But people start dying. You know, who's responsible? Who's screwing who? Very interesting. That part of it is very interesting. But my one criticism of Reed Farrell Coleman is that too soap opera-ish.
Oh.
Whereas Spencer, who we love, the first and greatest creation of the late, great Robert B. Parker, has Susan.
Right.
And that lends stability to telling those stories, where we can focus more on the mystery, focus more on the interactions with him and Hawk and Vinnie Morris and
He's got
the
Susan
Harbor Health
who
Club.
grounds him.
Occasionally, in the past, there was some straying.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's got his woman. They're in love. Let's move on to the case.
Yeah.
Reed Farrell Coleman has kind of turned Jesse into a chick magnet. Whereas every woman that he comes in contact with wants to sleep with him.
That's not originally how Parker wrote him. Is it?
No, not really. No, when Parker originally wrote the character, he was an alcoholic, kicked off the force in L.A.
Right.
The only place that would take him was Paradise, Massachusetts, because they hoped he would fail.
Right.
And he surprised them, and he managed his drinking. Didn't give it up, but he managed it to the point where he was still functional. He was dealing with his ex-wife, Jen, who he kept in contact with, but they had a toxic relationship.
No
but that was it.
No wonder he was drinking.
There you go. So that was the key thing. He was either alone, working on whatever case popped up in Paradise, dealing with his ex-wife. But now it's every book with Reed Farrell Coleman is 2 or 3 women throwing themselves at Jesse Stone. And it's gotten to the point where it's too much. It's this revolving carousel of women. And some of them he turns down. You know, he shows restraint.
Yeah.
But it just gets to the point where, okay,
we know where your head's at.
I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy, you know, I mean, the women are like drooling. They need drool buckets when they come in contact with him. Every woman wants to screw his brains out. And it's just, that's not, like you said, that's not really the way that Parker wrote the character to begin with.
No wonder he was asked to move on.
So now we'll see what the next author does. Because Reed Farrell Coleman has set some things in motion that I don't know where they're going to go from here with this. You know, I don't want to spoil anything, even though the book is old. They're pushing him in a direction where it's either going to become a tragedy, or it could take an edge off of the character. Let's put it that way. Now, one more good thing about this before we move on. Coleman is smart enough to fully incorporate his Jesse Stone books into the Parker universe. So Spencer shows up in this. Vinnie Morris shows up in this. So
he still does the tie-ins.
Yep. Spencer's got a very small part in this, but he does have one little interaction with Jesse Stone.
Yeah. And we've seen Jesse appear in the Spencer books from time to time.
Yeah, and then they've got the whole Sonny Randall thing.
Yeah.
So, or Jesse Stone supposedly slept with her too. And those books just started up again.
With Lupica.
No, they got a female author now.
Oh!
He did do them for a while.
Yeah.
But now they got a female author.
Intriguing.
Yep, so Lupica's doing Stone and Spencer now. And they've got a female author doing Sonny Randall. And of course, I don't know what they're doing with the Western.
It's been pushed back again.
Mr. Knott.
Yeah.
Colin Hitch.
I think because the Westerns are not selling well, I think the publisher is hesitant to put it out.
Phooey.
I know.
Phooey.
Give me my Colin Hitch, damn it.
But I will give the Hangman's Sonnet. I'll give it 3. 3 frenzies. It's good enough.
There you go.
But like you alluded to, not the way necessarily I think Parker wanted the character to go.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted to become a man whore.
Yeah, no. I mean, he didn't even do that to Spencer.
No, but the thing that I always liked about Spencer,
whether it was a legend in his own mind.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
but that's what makes him great, is that the humility.
Yeah.
Is that, yeah, every once in a while he'll feel something with a woman, but most of the time he'll put on his charm, as he likes to say.
Yeah, I'm not going to give her the 10 smile because I don't want her drooling all over
I got to give her the low wattage smile, yeah. And then she goes, whatever. That's what makes Spencer so much better. And they've got Stone. Women are like basically ripping their clothes off for him. I'm like, come on.
Just stop.
But still good enough. This will be my fill-in book series.
There
when
you go.
I have some time between. But now I'll be reading Hot Property. Robert B. Parker, Mike Lupica, the Spencer series.
Yes. So we'll have that dual review at some point. I am just started finally In Too Deep, the newest Reacher, which you finished.
Yep.
So
that's just sounds so weird.
I know. Potentially next week.
Okay.
We could have that. I'm shooting to try and finish that.
So, this is a good time to do next week. Next week on the Weekend Edition. Music, of course, because I've been waiting for this for months and months and months. Finally, the new album from Tremonti. The End Will Show Us How.
Yes, finally.
Cannot wait. Next week, our full reviews of that album. We better savor it because I don't know when we're going to have a new album again.
From anybody.
Yeah. Although we still have Smashing Pumpkins.
We do. So
we can do a Gory Mori Me at some point. As I mentioned previously, Creature Commandos. Full review of Season 1. And for movie review, I think we decided...
Juror number 2?
Juror number 2 on Max, Clint Eastwood's latest directing effort, which looks very intriguing.
It does. So
I just, it boggles my mind. How does a Clint Eastwood movie
not
not
get
go
a
to the
theatrical
theaters,
review or theatrical release. Yeah.
and just gets pushed to max.
I got nothing.
I mean, how many Oscars has he been nominated for as a director? How many has he won?
I got
Unforgiven,
nothing.
$1 Million Baby, Mystic River. And all of a sudden his stuff's getting pushed directly to Max.
Because I have no idea. The studios don't know what the hell they're doing anymore. So, there you go.
All right.
It's all garbage.
Now you're starting to sound like me. You're supposed to be the bright light of optimism.
I'm the one who does the horn of disgrace. Come on.
I'm supposed to be the cynical bastard. Did you hear my review of Nothing But a Good Time? I'm an evil man. I'm an evil man, Jerry. All right. Moments of silence. World of music. Unfortunately, a couple. We lost one of the Osmond brothers. Wayne Osmond. In a way, this really makes me feel old. You know? I mean, the Osmonds were before my time, but still, I know that they weren't that much older than me.
I know, and it was, what was it on TV? The variety show, Donnie and Marie?
Yep. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll. She still looks great. Oh, she looks great. Oh, my God. Oh, oof. Little Maestro doesn't mind seeing her in ads. Oh, I know there's a lot of
There's a little work.
There's a lot of work that's been done. But whoever did it
well.
Bravo! Bravo, sir! You did a wonderful job. Sorry, we're not trying to make light of Wayne Osmond's passing.
Thoughts and prayers to the Osmond family and their friends.
And then, it's kind of hippie music, but Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary passed away. Now, they did what? Leaving on a Jet Plane? Was that them?
Yeah, and Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yes, yep. Yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with drugs. That's a kid song. That's got nothing to do with drugs.
No, it doesn't. And now Puff is taking him on to the land of Honolulu.
Oh, God, we used to sing that song in elementary school all the time.
Yep. Little Jackie Paper.
All right, Dave, what time is it?
It's time to pivot. Who will be this week's Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week?
Okay, we only got 4. So, I am still showing restraint. We'll start off with our current, thank God, not for much longer, President of the United States. That would be one Joe Biden. And I understand the Presidential Medal of Freedom doesn't really mean that much because they just give it out every year. Whatever president it is, gives it out to
somebody.
Donors, friends.
Yeah.
But come on. The final time he's going to do this, he really sunk to the lowest possible levels. Now, we're not talking about Denzel Washington or Bono. That's fine. But to give the Presidential Medal of Honor, or Freedom, to Hillary Clinton and George Soros.
That is a new low in everything. 2 of the least deserving people in this country. Evil incarnate on both.
Yep.
Master manipulator. And how many people has she had whacked?
I wouldn't put it past him either. I would not.
They're a match made in hell.
Yep.
They're both vile, evil. vindictive.
Of course, he's responsible for bankrolling campaigns for some of the most lenient, city attorneys, DAs across the country. Light on crime.
Ugh. Disgusting, both of them.
All right, let's lighten it up a bit.
Light them up?
The Guinness Book of World Records. Don't you love the Guinness Book? And all the ridiculous, nonsensical, stupid records
that people try to achieve.
Well, I might have a new one for you. The all-time biggest dumbass record. And I saw the video of this. So this is a visual.
Oh, God.
A man set a new Guinness Book of World Records mark for stopping a running fan with his tongue 57 times in a row.
Oh, God.
And again, I watched this. There was like 12 of them.
Was it like a box fan?
No, a circular.
Okay, like an oscillator.
Yes, yep, oscillator. And he had about 12 of them. They had 12 of them lined up. And so he'd stop, he'd go to one, and they'd come back and go back and forth.
Oh, my God.
And then when they gave him the award,
blood pouring.
You could tell he's got blood ready to just pour out of his mouth. And I'm like, is this what we've become?
Is this the fix the blood that I really wanted to have on my tongue? If it were not for the fans, I would not be here today.
I didn't think about the acceptance speech. The acceptance speech. Oh my God.
Please forgive me, I'm having a little trouble talking about now.
Oh, I think that's a piece of my tongue on the microphone.
Do you happen to have a bib?
But come on. What are we doing with our lives? This is somebody... Did he practice this?
He had to have.
Just watching him run up and down this line of fans, sticking his tongue in the fans. And I'm like, this is why we are doomed as a society. This is why I always say it's going to be like the Roman Empire. No society lasts forever. And this is the sign of the apocalypse for us.
Was he an American?
No.
Okay.
I think he was, I'm not sure. I think he was Indian, though. But still, I don't care. I just don't care.
If I remember this, I would not be able to do this today. Sorry.
No, I'm trying to think of you doing that with you very, very bad man, Jerry.
I could do something like this. All right. Moving on.
This one's for me personally. And you might initially say, why does this make these companies dumbasses? Okay, Facebook and Instagram, the great Mark Zuckerberg announces that they are now going to end fact-checking. This is why I'm making this a dumbass. Is because, are you people this naive to not realize that now that the election is over, they pull this shit? Because they realize, now we can't scuttle Trump's re-election campaign. So now we'll say, okay, now we're going to stop fact-checking.
Now all bets are off.
See, that's kind of like on the sports edition with Fubo selling out to the Rat.
Yeah.
It's like, you little fucktards. You tried to destroy the man for years with this fact-checking bullshit. You never did it for Biden. You never did it for Kamala Harris. And now that the election's over, you go, oh, we're going to get rid of it now. I guarantee in 4 years, it's going to be reinstated. Guaranteed in 4 years, they'll start it again.
Yeah, because if you're going to fact check everything.
And everybody.
This social media, the downfall of society.
Oh, yeah.
And fuck Ted Turner to hell.
Unfortunately, my final one is also politics. But it's kind of funny. Now, Dave, let me ask you something. You have a job. You work.
I do.
I've had a job. I've worked. Doesn't it make sense that if you want to keep your job, whether you like it or not, you don't piss off the boss?
Pretty much.
Wouldn't that be like a basic tenet?
Yes.
Of staying employed?
Yeah.
Well, don't tell that to Washington Post cartoonist Ann Telnice. She is the editorial cartoonist, or was, for the Washington Post. She submitted a cartoon for publication in the Washington Post showing all of the big media moguls, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, the guy from Apple, and Jeff Bezos kowtowing at the feet of Donald Trump, offering him money, basically in supplication and tribute to him. Here's the problem. Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post.
Oh, he can't take a joke?
I think it's stupid that you would do that, though. Your boss? You put your boss in one of these cartoons?
He may own it, but he's not her direct boss.
But she quit because she didn't like the fact that they would not publish it.
Shame on the editors of the Post for not putting that in.
Oh, there you go. There's my...
I don't like Bezos.
Yeah, but again, this is her... The guy that owns the newspaper, maybe you don't put him in this. Zuckerberg, you know...
Bezos deserves it for all the shit he's doing with Amazon right now. Fucking over all the consumers.
What, like Knight Rider for $19.99?
And then jacking it up to $40 and then dropping it back down.
Yeah, they got some evil shit going on, I'll admit that. But I still buy like 95% of my stuff from them. Free delivery to my door next day.
It's not next day anymore. You'd be lucky if you get it within a week.
All right, so I guess I know who's not getting your vote for Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week. That would not be Ann Telnice of the Washington Post. So you have Joe Biden.
I'm going to talk. I'm going to pick the Fed man.
Does that mean that you're voting for the guy?
I am losing for the Guinness Book of World Records holder for stopping a 7th ton.
So I don't even have to go on.
No, I think we have a winner.
I'm not even voting. I can't vote. I can't vote. Just let the guy with the tongue and the fans win. I'm fine with it. I can't do it anymore. I can't go on.
He can't talk.
I can't. And it's not because I stuck my tongue in a fan. I just can't. Oh my God, I'm loopy. I'm done. I'm out. That's it.
It's my fault I took it to the lowest level.
Oh, it's so funny. All right, so we are done with the weekend edition. We hope that we nursed you out of your hangover. You're not going to get drunk again and stick your tongue in a running fan 47 times.
57.
58 would be the record.
58 would be... You could set the new record.
Oh, God, Dave. Don't encourage them. I don't need a lawsuit.
We do not recommend trying this at home.
He's a conquistador, Dave.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
We hope you had fun. We did. Next week, we've told you what's coming up. I know you're going to drink too much Friday night, so we'll be here for you Saturday morning.
As always, if you want the sports, check us out on Thursdays.
Otherwise, we'll talk to you again in 7 days. Say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.
I knew you were going to do that.